Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I hope you all are doing good. Welcome to another video on YouTube. In this video, we will learn how to write kasra, dhamma, fatha, and tanween, inshallah. Okay, this is perhaps the most requested video, both on YouTube as well as on Instagram, and I apologize for being late, but here we are. Before I start with the video, I'd like to remind you that I have a proper, complete, advanced course on thuluth, which is in the process of being completed on Instagram. Right now we are currently doing shapes, different shapes. How do we write in different shapes? This is basically in a teardrop shape. So do enroll and start learning the proper way. Okay, so let's begin, inshallah. How to write fatha. Fatha basically is a line, a straight or slightly curved line that you make above the letter. Now there are two different kinds of fatha, and generally you use different size of qalams to make those. Let me, for benefit, use a larger qalam and a much smaller qalam. So this particular fatha is generally made with the qalam of the same size that you use to write the whole ayah, or maybe 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter smaller, but not a lot smaller. Okay, so this is generally longer than the regular fatha, and right at the end it slightly curves like this. It slightly dips, and you can even assign this at the end. Okay, now the alignment or the angle at which it dips is similar to that of the casa of waw or dal. For example, if I make dal roughly, just bear with me. Now this stroke fatha will be parallel to this. Now this is one of the ways to write it. I have observed it. This is purely based on observation. So there could be other calligraphers who do not generally use this particular guideline. Now let's say I make the letter wow. Okay, now this again, if I have to make fatha, these two will be parallel. Okay, so we follow the same alignment generally, so to speak, throughout the thuluth. Now, talking about the other fatha is almost the same. It's just a smaller line, that's it. When we make tanween, that is fathain, we generally use smaller one. Okay, now how do we make tanween of fatha? It's fairly simple. You make the first line and you make the second line, which is almost in the same length. Okay, and they need to be very close to each other. You cannot make a tanween in such a manner. These would be considered as two individual fatha, not fathain or tanween. You have to know and understand that clearly. Okay, right. Like I said, fatha can be made in two types. One is a longer fatha and the other one is shorter. You can leave it here or you can give it a drop like this. That's all acceptable. Okay, fatha and kasra are almost the same, except kasra is written below the letter and not above the letter, and it is generally shorter in length. And if you're making kasratain, that is tanween of kasra, then again the same rules apply. Okay, I hope this was clear. Now moving on to dhamma. and dammatain. Okay. Now when you make damma, you have to keep in mind the shape of the letter fa, qaf, waw. That is the eye of fa, qaf and waw. When we make fa or qaf, this is how we proceed. This line is horizontal, almost straight. That's the difference between this shape and that of damma. For damma, you go up like this and you give this upward curve. Now from here, you keep the qalam at 80 degree, go up and then drop. That's tricky. What you do is go up and then drop and bring the qalam back towards you like this. So what happens by that is this stroke is thinner. And then from there, you make the shape of that of similar to raw. But the point of observation here is, here at the point of connection, it is much thinner and it gets thicker as you proceed. And that's the trickiest part of this harakat. Let's try and do it again. You go up, give it an upward curve, keep the qalam at 80 degree, go up and then bring it down. Please note, when I'm bringing down, I'm not going back like this. I'm actually bringing it down quite literally. Now, if you observe carefully, this is the trajectory which you can follow. There's nothing wrong in following that. But generally, calligraphers move horizontal, sideways. This. What it does is enables you to make thicker stroke. And this is something you would already have learned in how to make thicker and thinner strokes, on how to use qalam. The same concept applies here. Okay, if I come down using the length of the qalam, it will be thinner, but if I change the direction slightly, it becomes thicker. That's what you have to use when making damma. Okay, excellent. So that takes care of our damma. You can even provide a tail to damma like this if you like. Okay, excellent. Now, how do we write tanween of damma or dammatain? There are two ways to do that. One is fairly easy. First, you make damma, and then from here you will make a sort of hat on damma. You go up and then cover it completely. Allow me to make it with a bigger qalam. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And I start from here. Move across it, bring it back and connect. So this is one way of writing tanween in thuluth. Okay, another way of writing tanween is slightly tricky. Again, you make damma, bring it down like this. Then from here, make this. Now, of course, you can make this come up from here and then go down. That's all acceptable. Try in doing this. So this is another way you can make tanween. both are acceptable and both look quite beautiful in their own way. Okay, so in this video we learned how to write fatha, kasra, dhamma, fathatain or tanween of fatha, kasratain or tanween of kasra, dhammatain or tanween of dhamma. Okay, this is where I will conclude this video. In next video, inshallah, I will be helping you with how to write sukoon, how to write an alternate to alif and or alif sound, and also how to write shadda, inshallah. Okay, that's all I have for this video. Do not forget to enroll into the advanced course. As I said, we are into the expert level now, composing in different shapes. Next will be, inshallah, how to write in circular form. So I'll see you there. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or message me on Instagram. My handle is mentioned in the comment section or the description section below. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.